One community that's dear to my heart is the hard of hearing and the deaf community. And the reason why this community is so important to me is because at the school that I teach at, it's a magnet for all the deaf and hard of hearing young people. They come from the tri-state area to attend White Station High School. So we have quite a large population of the hard of hearing and deaf community. Having said that, there have been some issues concerning Deaf Connect, which is a nonprofit organization. They're facing closure, and that is something that deeply concerns me. As a city councilwoman, I am to serve everyone, whether you can hear or not, whether you are poor or rich, whether or not you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent. My concern is the community. Yes. Another thing that's really dear to my heart, and something that you'll be hearing about in the next few weeks, and that's the foster care system. A while back, when I first came in contact with a foster child, it was in my classroom, and this was 20 years ago. I had the mindset that foster kids are broken, couldn't be fixed, until I met this one young lady, and she tore at my heartstrings, to the point that not only did I have compassion for foster kids and foster parents and the families who were broken, but I also got involved. I got involved to the point where I sat on the board, the foster care review board, for a year. I got involved as a foster parent. I got involved recently. They reached out to me and said, Ms. Sugarmon, can you use your platform as you run for office? Because we're in dire straits. We need more foster parents. I said, sure. Another thing that's concerning me as well is the fact that there's so many empty facilities that we need to repurpose, and that there's so many people who need jobs. And it just seems like it's common sense that why don't we just mesh them together? Why don't we provide the people with the resources they need to help them start their own business, to start expanding vocational programs, literacy programs? Let's work together as one, as Memphians. So what's going to happen over the next several weeks? I'm going to put on 3 series. The first series deals with the foster care program, youth villages, and you'll see testimonies from foster parents, former foster children who are very successful, as well as youth villages. And it's going to be a 3-part series. The next series will deal with the hard of hearing, the deaf community. And it will talk about the obstacles that they face as young adults, the obstacles they face as children growing up, where their parents can hear and the adjustments they make. And also you'll hear testimony from Deaf Connect, where they're facing closure and some of the services that's needed. You know, even with Deaf Connect, they're still underserved. The third part will be the Coliseum. The Coliseum Review Board reached out to me and asked if I would go on a tour. And they have some wonderful ideas for the Coliseum. And that's something that I'm going to address as City Councilwoman, is how to repurpose all of these facilities. And so it's going to be a 3-part series: findings, the impact, and the recommendations. And so as I go on this campaign trail, I'm trying to use my platform to shine a light on programs, on people, on communities that have not had a voice, had not had the ears where people get, where they were heard, or whatever the situation. I'm going out to the communities one by one. I'm knocking on doors, going to communities, going to businesses, talking to people. As a city councilwoman, I will continue to do this. As I reached out to labor, I have made a pledge. Yes, there's some things that can be fixed easily, some not so much, but I'm going to need recommendations, advice, etc. from the community as well. This is something we've got to do as a community. The last point I'm going to make is that Cordova. I'm so concerned that Cordova is going to be another Hickory Hill. I reached out to the communities in Cordova. Their concern is that you have builders coming in, building shoddy houses, and that within 5 years, their roads are messed up, the parking lots are messed up, the roads are messed up, the fences are falling down. And so with that, I want to work with City Council to ensure that there are codes in place, so that when people buy their homes, they don't have to just walk away because they cannot sell it. So again, I'm going to work with all communities, whether you're in Raleigh, Cordova, Hickory Hill, East Memphis. I assure you, I pledge to you that when I'm City Councilwoman, these roads, these jobs, lack of jobs, will see a difference. Because why? I'm listening to the people. I'm going to work with people. I'm going to put in place the policies, codes that are needed to move all of us forward. So I just wanted to talk about the deaf community real quickly. As you all can see, I have an interpreter. Her name is Sharon McCoy, and she is also an educator at White Station High School. She's taken her time this summer to join me on our campaign trail and reach the deaf and hard of hearing communities. So the next thing we're going to do is watch a performance from some young ladies, and they're going to perform what's the name of it again? Yes, and it's interpretation using sign language. But before they begin, we have a young lady who's also a former student of mine, Lauren Taylor. She's going to do a ballet performance, and Lauren, come up, please. And Carolyn, first of all, introduce yourself. Tell the public what you know about our relationship, okay, and then tell the audience about your dance. And this young lady, I'm so proud of her. I've known her since she was, before she was even born, actually. And she was also one of my former students. She's also a ballet dancer. She's got a full scholarship, and she's doing wonderful things. Memphis has so much talent, so much talent.
Oh, yes.
And we've got to and we need to take them to the next level. But this is just the beginning for Lauren Taylor. Okay, Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren Taylor. I'm currently a college student at UTSU.